And then Giannis, who I don't know if he's quite the villain, but I said this on our last pod, I'm really getting like Dwight Mayer vibes from this whole situation, which for viewers and listeners who are old enough to remember Dwight Howard's exit from the Orlando Magic, it was a lot like this in terms of both sides not wanting to be the bad guy. And it just became prolonged to the point that he got traded way later than he should have for way less value. And he was kind of older and a little bit more kind of injured when it finally happened. And we never really got that good second act of Dwight Howard. I have a little bit more faith in Giannis sort of from a physical and mental makeup perspective that I think we'll still get that second act, but he's getting towards living long enough to see himself become the villain for someone who once had a pretty universal approval rating.
Agreed. No, I definitely agree. I would say versus where he was at 2 years ago, I don't really think anyone has tanked their image quite as much as Giannis, other than maybe post Thunder Kevin Durant. I feel like is the only one.
How long has Ja been struggling?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think it's been more than 2 years, sadly. But
I was gonna say it's been pretty quick with Giannis, though. Like you said, universal appeal and positive ratings, I would say, across the board. I had John Horst on here only because I think if your job is to run the Milwaukee Bucks and put out a team that is competitive around Giannis, you didn't do a great job of it. And also you just kept making reactionary moves over and over again. And also it's part of your job to realize like when it is over. And I think that them trying to prolong this thing and continue it going is not making the situation any better. I talked about a little bit earlier kind of why it isn't a great plan. I think last offseason was the time to really trade Giannis after the Dame thing, and you spend all of your draft capital and blah, blah, blah. And they've even gotten like Ryan Rollins out of this and like a potential top 10 pick. And like, maybe you try to convince Giannis to stay, but like if he's not signing that extension, they're going to trade him. Yeah. And it just feels like you're prolonging this over and over again.